Yesterday, we covered the 4 primary elements in the archaic names in the sutta: earth, water, fire, and air. A modern parallel: solidity, fluidity, heat, and oscillation. Today, we are going to cover the last part of the first contemplation of the body. The last exercise in mindfulness of the body is a series of cemetery meditations. Contemplations of the body, disintegration after death, which may be performed either imaginatively with the aid of pictures or through direct confrontation with a corpse. By any of these means, one obtains a clear mental image of a decomposing body, then applies the process to one's own body, considering this body, now so full of life, has the same nature and is subject to the same fate. It cannot escape death, cannot escape disintegration, but must eventually die and decompose. Again, the purpose of this meditation should not be misunderstood. The aim is not to indulge in a morbid fascination with death and corpses, but to sunder our egoistic clinging to existence with a contemplation sufficiently powerful to break its hold. The clinging to existence subsists through the implicit assumption of permanence. In the sight of a corpse, we meet the teacher who proclaims unambiguously, everything formed is impermanent. That concludes the last paragraph of this, the first contemplation of the body. Okay, cemetery. Do you guys know what cemetery means? It's like graveyard. Cemetery. This is how it's pronounced.
Cemetery.
A large burial ground, especially not one in churchyard. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, you get the image. We cannot either perform this imaginatively, here it says, by using our mind and imagine a corpse, or with the aid of pictures. How do you get the pictures of corpse? Nowadays, it's not so easy. Even if you go through Google image, when you try to find, they try to hide this kind of pictures because it doesn't seem to be that appropriate for the public, so to speak. There is still a way though, because medical students, they have to study the body, they have to study the corpse. So I think the term was called cadaver's lab. Let me do a quick search. Have you guys heard of it? Cadaver's lab. Okay. Let me do a quick search. Firstly, here, cadaver. A cadaver is a dead body, especially a dead human body. It's the same with corpse. This one, the definition. A cadaver or corpse is a dead human body that is used by medical students to study anatomy, identify disease sites, determine causes of death, and provide tissue to repair a defect in a living human being. So if you search for this cadaver, there's a chance that you can see, if you really want to, the site of a corpse with the aid of pictures. Yeah. Alternatively, if you have medical students as a friend, you can ask for them. Can you give me some pictures? Or can you maybe allow me to enter into cadaver's lab? Then maybe you just watch from the afar and then watch the process, how they dissect the body. The last one, true direct confrontation with a corpse. This might sound ridiculous, but there is actually some people doing this. From what I heard, Ajahn Chah, he directly meditate in the cemetery itself. There is one clip that I want to show, but I will show it probably tomorrow. This is also more powerful when it is someone close to you. It can be either your parents or your relative or your grandparents who pass away. Yeah, that is probably when someone close to you and pass away, when you would probably get the chance to see the corpse for the last time. Yeah. Preferably before it was embalmed. Yeah. Because when it was embalmed, it's not exactly the way the corpse is supposed to look like. I had a first-hand experience of this when my father passed away 3 years ago in 2018. Yeah, I get to see his corpse. Unfortunately, it's after the embalming, so he was already dressed up nicely. Yeah, but still, it's still a powerful reminder. Yeah. Like this last sentence, in the sight of a corpse, especially my own father, we meet the teacher who proclaims unambiguously, everything formed is impermanent. Just to be clear here, this is not to disrespect the person. This is not to disrespect the body. This is not to disrespect my father. But this is a powerful time for us to reflect. Okay, let's go back to the text. By any of these means, by imagination, by pictures, or direct confrontation, one obtains a clear mental image of a decomposing body, then applies to the process to one's own body, considering this body, our own body at this time, to one's own body. This body is now so full of life, has the same nature, and is subject to the same fate. To the same fate of who? Of the cadaver, the body, the dead body, the corpse. It cannot escape death, cannot escape disintegration, but must eventually die and decompose. The purpose of this meditation should not be misunderstood, not to indulge in a morbid fascination with death and corpses. Now, some people are into this kind of thing, in a fascination of death and a dead body. But This is not our purpose. The purpose is to sunder our egoistic clinging. What is sunder? Let's define here. Split apart, divide, cleave, separate. To split our egoistic clinging to existence with a contemplation sufficiently powerful to break its hold, to break the clinging. The clinging to existence subsists, maintain, survive, maintain or support oneself, especially at a minimal level. We cling to existence through the implicit assumption of permanence. How, you might ask? When we wake up every day, do we think to ourselves, oh, I would probably die someday? Usually not. I think most people don't think that way. Yeah. So we have this implicit assumption of permanence that tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, I think we will still have this life. We will still live our life. This is what is meant by implicit assumption of permanence. I love this last line. It's beautifully written. In the sight of a corpse, we meet the teacher who proclaims unambiguously, everything formed is impermanent. That concludes the contemplation of the body, the first contemplation out of 4 foundations of mindfulness. Tomorrow I will show a clip about this, a monk who actually directly do this. When I listen to the story, tears falling down. Now we have a little bit of time. Let's quickly recap through what we have gone through. The first contemplation of the body. I found a diagram that summarized quite well in, again, Bhikkhu Analayo's book. So let's take a look. And this diagram we started with, just take a look at the left one, the Pali version. The body contemplations. We started with, firstly, the mindfulness of breathing. How do we do mindfulness of breathing? You still recall? There are 4 steps. The first 2, observe, be aware whether your breath is short or whether your breath is long. For example, noticeable after you do a physical exercise. It must be usually, your breath must be usually very fast, very short. And then just note down, your breath is short. And when you do sitting, when you don't do physical exercise, usually your breath will be long. That's mindfulness of breathing. The third one is to observe the whole body of breathing, the whole breath body, all the way from the start of inhalation, in the middle, until all the way to the end. And then the switch, the start of exhalation, the middle, and all the way to the end. And then repeat again. This is one whole breath body. Yeah, one whole body of breath. The last one is a little bit subtle, is to use the breath to calm all the bodily function until it becomes subtle. Next, we move on to the 4 postures. The 4 most common postures that we use daily: sitting, walking, standing, lying down. The step is just to be aware of these 4 postures. Yeah. Whatever posture you are in, right now you're sitting, be aware that you are sitting. Bodily activities, this refers more to the extension of everything we do in our daily life. Going and coming, walking, putting on your shirt, going to the washroom, urinate, defecate, everything that we do, we can apply mindfulness to it. Next is the anatomical parts. If you recall the clip by Venerable Tenchen, how to lessen infatuation with someone. In video number 42, our video, I had also shown the clips of Bhikkhu Bodhi doing very similar stuff to contemplate, to split the parts of the body one by one, dissect it, put it imaginatively in front of you, or you can also do a Google search. You will find the image, and then with the aid of pictures, you can see, is this truly attractive? The second last, we contemplate the 4 elements. We have just covered this yesterday, and a brief recap this morning. The earth, water, fire, and air elements. The last one that we covered today, corpse in decay. With the aid of imagination, the aid of pictures, and or direct confrontation through the corpse. That is a brief summary of what we have covered for around 1 week. I will send this summary, a very nice picture summary, to the group chat. With that, we conclude the first foundation of mindfulness, contemplation of the body. Any questions or comments from you? Have you learned something so far? Anything you find interesting? Anything you haven't learned before? Is this new to you? Okay, no comments?
Anyone enlightened yet?
Good question. Anyone?
I'm not.
Hey Marcus, sorry, just now because I got one telephone from my relative lah, so I'm talking, so I cannot concentrate on yours. Then there's how there's internet trouble lah. Sorry, sorry.
No worries, good. Yeah, we can always take photo again tomorrow. Okay, anyone else have comments? We are not yet enlightened, but maybe we are one step closer every day. When you sit every morning, you make one small step. What is the quote? One small step for man, a giant leap for humankind or mankind. Yeah, it's not the exact quote. the exact quote you have to look for. Neil Armstrong. Maybe we modify the quote. One breathing for a man, a giant leap for enlightenment. Okay, if no comments from you, just nice 8 a.m. Let's do a dedication. 厌消三障就烦恼，厌的就会证明的。普厌罪障悉消除，实是常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a mindful Friday ahead. Thanks everyone for participating today. I'll see you guys next time.
Take care, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.